There already is quite a lot of negativity on my channel recently, and unless miracle happens, there's soon going to be more. So I decided to highlight this little patch of positivity I found. Spear might be as promising as a houseplant in a role of aircraft carrier, but balance patch we got is really something else. Of course, we'll have to postpone fine-tuning of builds to after the beta because we lack time and because Ranked is currently discovering magnitudes of aids previously unknown to humanity. And therefore, we have to run our crap through Unranked, which is few nuclear disasters away from any possible definition of the world's balanced matchmaking. However, we can still draw a rough silhouette sketch of whatever's going to be at least moderately good, and unless you're facing God's most autistic soldiers on the regular, believe you me, you don't need meta builds. Henceforth, what's the positivity I was talking about? For starters, tactics is viable as damage line, and can be run both with viable stuff like defense or discipline, and with goofy shit like newly buffed strength. New martial cadence, in combination with Brawl's recovery, grants you 2 cleanses refreshing every 5 seconds, and that's before sigils of cleansing, bumping that number to 3 cleanses per weapon swap. Newly added Relic of Motion removes debilitating conditions anytime you evade anything with internal cooldown of 1 second, which cuts down the amount of non-damaging conditions on you. And to top it all, Signet of Stamina is finally worth using, which allows you to dodge like crazy and always have a panic cleanse in case things get out of hand. This is a very noticeable amount of passive cleanse and dodges. Even if you don't opt for the Signet and run without on-demand cleanse, you can still make it on just the passive cleanses alone, which opens the way for shenanigans. You can run Stomp, Boost Charge, Savagely Berserker with Staff Greatsword and Heretic Amulet plus usual Rune of Eagle, while keeping Headbutt as emergency stun break to be the most mobile piece of work there has ever been. And you will still be condition proof just enough, and sustaining with Shrugged Off Soldier's Comfort and Martial Cadence combo just enough to make that ridiculous idea work. And that's all before mentioning you still get quickness. It's beautiful. And if you don't fancy that, dodge build. With Might Makes Right, building momentum, and Signet of Stamina, you can fabricate so much endurance you practically already have infinite dodges. And if you also equip Sigils of Energy on both weapons, Thief mains are going to get collective aneurysm, as by that point you basically open a gym in their hideout. That, combined with Greatsword's innate evasion and mobility, Staff's innate sustain improved with new Heretic Amulet, long before mentioned Relic of Motion, and all the jazz from Discipline you already know and love, pasted on top of bread and butter Berserker line, and we get first in quite long time example of Strength Discipline Berserker build that doesn't suck like the fat bitch in the center of Milky Way. In fact, you can even grief a little by playing with Blood Reckoning, and you won't get immediately integrated into the soil by the first thing you see, because you can dodge 15 times in the fight. Forceful Greatsword gives you the might you need and the CDR you want, and on top of that, new Restorative Strength makes your Burst Heal Burst combo not completely useless. TLDR, you can occasionally deck someone right in the skill issue. Of course, I recommend normal, non-meme healing skills due to their obvious advantage of not being trash cans, but hey, the purpose of a trash can is to help you take out the trash, so do your thing. Nonetheless, for Berserker, Signet of Stamina pairs well with Boost Charge and Relic of Motion. Top that with Balanced Stance or Doilak Signet for stability, and Headbutt or Signet of Rage for adrenaline generation, in whatever suits your fancy kind of way. I don't remember last time when I had this much fun in PvP. Reject stance builds, embrace motion sickness or not, Tactics Defense is also surprisingly enjoyable. Though I ended up gravitating towards Hammer's Spellbreaker with that thing. You see, with full 10 seconds of weapon swap cooldown, you want to burst and weapon swap immediately and then burst again, so you can activate Soldier's Focus twice every 10 seconds. And Spellbreaker can do that easier, as he doesn't dump all his adrenaline per burst and has 2 burst buttons instead of 1, so he's better suited to do the job, and gravitating towards the Hammer, because if I'm playing defense without an option to pair Headbutt with Defy Pain, Merciless Hammer is my second favorite option. With Soldier's Comfort for sustain, Shrug It Off and Martial Cadence for cleanses and resets, Shield Master for augmented block, Merciless Hammer for administering wpierdol and Steel Place to run whichever Grandmaster you feel like it, because all three are good. You can make strike damage proof, condition proof or CC proof build, which combined with Spellbreaker's already cracked self-preservation tools, his guard counter, slow counter and Mage Wind Tether making people feel threatened by your kill pressure, it turns out that the biggest danger to you are your own bloody decisions. If you have less hands than there's enemies on screen, you should be careful. Just don't take your eyes off screen to count your hands mid-fight. Also, enemies that are off screen still exist, so don't get too cocky. Nevertheless, with a Heretic Amulet and Rune of Eagle, you are deadly enough while sustaining more than you did before, so you can play with an attitude of a deep-fried Pocket Raptor. You'll bounce back from low health that much easier, so unnecessary risks for the sake of fun are no longer taboo. The fun has been once again added back into the goulash, and that's without even mentioning support changes. For testing those, however, I need some teammates capable of at least mimicking symptoms of having a brain and enemy team of similar skill level, so we'll resume testing on July the 3rd. In summary, let's not allow that prolonged toilet clogger of a weapon to overshadow the nuclear payload of positive improvements Balanced has cooked. Design team may have disowned us, but in Balanced team we trust, and let's take time to praise the good alongside criticizing the bad. Not all hope is lost, so long there's one thing to praise. And after I'm done tearing Spear a new one for being as good of a weapon as Waffle Iron is a good substitute for underwear, you may expect multiple positive videos coming up, as there's here at least 4 builds worth their own 5 minutes of praise, maybe even more. I haven't got the time to check every possibility yet, as I'm trying not to turn my college experience into any % speedrun. Anyhow, have fun with new buffs, and Crabface out.